Hello there, welcome to Ringside after that packed, exciting and all-action Saturday night in the capital. Have you recovered from the drama?
Drama? It was like heartbreak for Kevin Mitchell, pain for Kevin Johnson. It was like a soap opera.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was an early night in the East End and a long one.
It was a very long night. The O2 extravaganza just seemed to have something for everyone. Atmosphere, stories, warriors from all levels, and most of all, respect for our sport. The fighters were so gallant, but this Welsh wizard was most certainly the jewel in the crown. Great to see you, Lee.
It's nice to see you too.
From the small halls to becoming a world champion, how's it feel?
It feels great, and to be honest, I haven't really sunk in. I had to watch the fight back over and over. I've been checking my bruises in the mirror just to make sure it wasn't a dream, just to make sure it really happened. But you know, it's a great feeling.
Is the story that much sweeter, maybe, for the public? Because you've come up the hard way from the small halls, you've done it the proper sort of old-fashioned route, and then you beat a guy who's in his 5th world title defence.
I say I've done the old traditional route, and that's my manager, Chris Guy. That's how he likes to work. He's an old traditionalist. I won the Welsh title, the Celtic title, British, Commonwealth, European, 2 WBC international titles.
Is that all?
Boxing 2 eliminators. And then finally won the big one in spectacular style.
Gradovic, you know, he was no pushover. I think this was his 5th defence. What did you make of him once you were in the ring with him? He
was a good fighter, just as I expected. He was an established champion. Like you said, 5 defences. I was his 3rd mandatory challenger, so he was a great champion, but I beat him with relative ease.
But you look like you still had a lot in reserve. You probably did 1st, 2nd gear, you had a couple more gears to jump up. Was that the case, or...?
Yeah, probably more 1st gear than 2nd, I'd say. There's a lot more to come from it. And, like, I say it all the time, but once I bring my sparring into the ring on fight night, you'll see a great champion who's going to be around for a long time.
That feeling will live with you forever, won't it?
I say, yeah. And I've cemented my name in history. I'm the 12th man from Wales to win a world title. And my name's in with the great fighters, Joe Calzecchi, Howard Winston, Steve Robinson, Robbie Regan, and the list goes on.
It's an illustrious list, isn't it?
Great fighters, and now I'm part of it.
You've made yourself the 12th world champion from Wales. You've got homecoming on Saturday on a big bus, parading the belt.
Open top bus.
No pressure.
Open top bus. We're going to have a nice stage set up. I'm going to meet and greet the fans. So it's going to be a good day for Barrytown.
Been to the Houses of Parliament today, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been to the Houses of Parliament. I met Alan Khan, the Welsh MP, and it's been a great day.
Let's get back to business. You're in good company. Walter's WBA champion, Lomachenko and WBO champion, Gary Russell Jr., WBC champion. Then there's you.
That's it. And great champions. You look at the list here, all 10 fighters are great fighters. And I'm blessed to be in a division like that. There's super fights on the line.
We, of course, sort of 10, 15 years ago had Nassim Hamid right up there, didn't we, amongst the 9 stone boys. But that list, you know, Walters, big puncher, Lomachenko, the fantastic amateur, Gary Russell, you know, it's a marquee fight, aren't they?
That's it. And the 3 above me, Gary Russell Jr., he probably got the fastest hands in boxing. Lomachenko, the best amateur of my era. And then you've got Nicholas Waters. He'd knock a horse out of theatre. Power in both ends, so there's some great fights on the line.
Are you busy looking forward? Because remember, we love the old domestic tear-up, and there's Josh Warrington behind you looking at you. Are you interested? Does it interest you?
Yeah, definitely. He's got a massive fan base. He brings a good crowd. He's picked up every title I've vacated from the Commonwealth, British, and the WBC international title. So he's following my footsteps, and that'd make for a great fight maybe next summer. Ellen Road.
Yeah, terrific domestic jewel, as you say, with his fan base up there in Leeds. You wouldn't mind going? I mean, you don't mind going anywhere, do you?
I don't mind at all. I went up there for his last fight, working for Sky, and his fans booed me, to say the least, so I'd be more than happy to go up there, silence him, and cash in.
You made the celebrations a bit of a family affair as well. The whole family's celebrating, and plus a little new addition to the clan.
Lucia Lee, there she is there. And my girlfriend bought that baby girl before I won the title, so she was confident in me.
It's a lovely family time, isn't it? And also for the Sanagars, for Jamie and Chris. And it's a great team as well. Tony Borg, too, the trainer. Fantastic unit.
It's great. And I started with them for my debut pro fight with Tony Borg as my trainer. The Sanagars managing me. I'm the second world champion, sorry. 15 years ago, Glenn Catley won the title. and I'm Tony Borg's first champion, so it's great.
We had Glenn on the other week. It's absolutely fantastic, Lee. And we now welcome the big man onto the show. 13 fights, 13 knockouts, and fresh in off that destruction of Kevin Johnson.
I just teased you on camera.
Yeah, I know.
You can't have him dancing.
I feel like getting involved.
That's not allowed. That's not allowed.
Impressive performance. It seemed like you were just the unofficial headliner.
It's good fun. I'm back in my hometown. Third time lucky. I was there for my debut with Dennis Baktov for the WBC International, and then we're back there again, and it's growing each time.
Talk us through the atmosphere, first of all. It seemed crackling when you came out, and there seems to be such a sort of feel-good air when you come to battle now.
It's good. Like, being involved in a card like Saturday is unbelievable in itself. But stuff like the ring walk music, letting people choose it, people who are coming to the crowd, coming to the show, you know, so they already know what's going to happen. They're involved, and they just get really involved, and they want to see a heavyweight knocking someone out, and that's what I try and deliver each time.
You did perform, you had the crowd support, and you really lived up to their expectations. But again, you seemed to box well within yourself. Were you surprised he went so early?
No, because I always said like, every heavyweight's going to have knockouts on their record. And when you've got someone like 17.5 stone or so punching at you, you're going to break through that guard, and someone's going to go sooner or later. But I just make sure it's not me on the end of those combinations.
You're very cool, you were very calm in the build-up to this. He said and did a lot of things to try and get into your head. You seemed so focused during the fight, before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight.
Yeah, he did say a lot of things, but I've always said I've got to get used to that. And before I turned pro, it took me a year, because I just wanted to really understand what I'm getting involved in. So all these things that are happening, I just really expected it, and I'm just taking it in my stride.
And it was expected that Kevin Johnson would take you a few rounds, hadn't been stopped. What was the key to get him out of there early before he established any sort of rhythm?
No way. I wanted to go the rounds, so at least I can show people, you know, this is what I'm doing in the gym. Of course I can go the rounds. You know, you listen to all the negative rather than the positive. That's just what we're like as athletes. So I wanted to go the rounds, but I saw the opportunity to get him out of there, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity. And then 6 rounds later, I'm on the ropes getting my head punched in, so I made sure I attacked him, kept the pressure up, and I managed to get the stoppage.
So, I've got to ask a question. When next? Who next? You know, domestically we've got, you know, Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora, David Price. Are they on your radar? Are you interested? Do you know who's next?
Yeah, like a lot of these guys keep mentioning my name, and I've always said, you know, you should be careful what you wish for, because I never shy away from anything. I've put these names forward, and some of these names we're really looking into for clashes this year and summertime next year. So if I want to be regarded as a good heavyweight, I'm going to have to go through all of these guys. But it's only one by one. So definitely Chisora, Price, Dillian. Fury's on the stage of a world title, so we've got to let him do his thing. But hopefully he can win and bring the title back, and it'll give us some more motivation and a bit more energy to the heavyweight division in Britain.
David Hay, of course, says he wants to fight against it. There's so many that you couldn't match. Is there one name that you just want at this stage?
Yeah, it'll be Klitschko or Deontay Wilder. You know, they're the champions of the world.
But how soon?
No, I'm definitely not. Realistically, I'm not ready for those guys, realistically.
Are we talking a year or two before, or...?
You'd have to ask my coach, because as a man of pride, if coach told me I'm fighting Klitschko, I'm not going to say no. He believes in me. He's seen me from here grow to 13-0 in Olympics and so on. So he knows what I'm like in the gym. So I would fight, but I think realistically, about 18 months, 2 years, it's just about not rushing. I've been a pro 2 years, you know, so I can't really rush, but I'll get there sooner or later.
Because you know what they say, you've got to have that gut check before maybe a world title opportunity.
Exactly.
You know, the one where you sort of have to go a few rounds and take punishment, whatever. But it's finding, I guess, guys that are going to stand up to the power. That's the key.
What we thought Johnson was going to do. You know, this is why Johnson come along, the likes of Fury, Chisora. They went the distance with him. Vitaly, I know it was some moons ago, but still, as a young prospect, we thought he was going to old man me, but I managed to get him out of there in good fashion.
What about Emmanuel Chara, Tony Thompson, that sort of... What do you think?
I think they're good fights, but all fighters know instinctively. If you sparred with Klitschko, I don't know if you sparred with Deontay Wilder, you know instinctively, you know what, in a couple of years' time. Did you have that feeling?
You know, the main thing I went to the Klitschko camp is mainly to assess how a world champion sets up a training camp. I didn't want to go out there and just start laying leather on Klitschko or him start laying leather on me. It wasn't really about that for me. I went out there, and we're both from Olympic backgrounds, so we was like upright boxing, jab and don't get hit. So it wasn't really a war. We didn't go to war, and I didn't want to test his ability because I know he's champ and I'm a prospect. I just wanted to see his whole setup and how he operates as a world champion.
Yeah, very interesting. Well done to the pair of you for Saturday night. Over to Andy Scott now, who's got another gallant hero from the evening, and Kevin Mitchell. Didn't he do well?
Thanks, Adam. Kevin, you showed tremendous bravery in a terrific encounter against Jorge Linares. First, and most importantly, a few bumps and bruises. How are you feeling?
Feeling great, very positive, and I think I'll come off a win-win on that one.
Let's have a look at the fight. What was your game plan, and how were the tactics working in the fight?
Well, basically, I was trying to... I think he's expecting me to come at him and throw hard, heavy shots with him. I thought I'd try and box around him, box fight him sort of thing, and I was getting the better of him. I was landing my shots, I landed some heavy shots, and I was backing him up, and I was giving him boxing lessons in most parts of the fight.
The knockdown here in the fifth. What's going through your mind at this point?
I know he's a very smart man. I caught him, I put him over. I know he wasn't hurt too bad, but I thought I'll try and see get the job done once he gets on his feet and see how he handles every shot straight after that. His defence was good, his world class obviously showed through, and he held himself up.
We can see that the cut has already opened up on over the top of your eye. Was that affecting you?
It was, you know, the worst cut was the little one on my right eye, it was on my eyelid. But once my left eye totally went and it was putting me under too much bother of vision, I found it very hard to basically get my distance in, as you say, landed that right hand there. But obviously, he come back with a few combinations and I come back at him, hurt him a few times, but I think the cuts were a big thing in the fight that troubled me.
The fight was waved off in the 10th round. Was that swelling and the cut just too much in the end?
I just think the idea of my vision was too much. I don't think the swelling and the cuts were too bad, but it's just the swelling of the vision, the blood in my eyes was too much. You get up, you couldn't see. I took my knee, took my hands ready to come back to fight again, and the referee just said, no, we can't have it anymore. Obviously, you can see my face is quite a state. Was he better than you expected? No, he wasn't actually. Boxing-wise, I thought, like, basically, with skill-wise, I thought I had him, if I wasn't cutting now, I think I'd have had it, I'd have been trying to knock him out in the later rounds myself, as in, instead of having to back off and have to worry about me facing the later rounds, I'd have put in the pressure on him and put him under more professional pressure. But it was one of them things, you know, dust off and we'll go again. You had that atmosphere at Upton Park, which was something special. How did this compare at the O2? That there was the best atmosphere I've ever been in any ring of my whole life as a fighter. I felt it was so overwhelming for me to be there and have the fans singing West Ham songs to me. I think you had bloody other football teams there singing songs who weren't even West Ham fans. But it was overwhelming. It really was unreal. Huge respect shown between the pair of you. Let's hear what the champion had to say in the dressing room afterwards.
Mira, la verdad que Kevin tiene la razón. I always respected him. Look at his record. I mean, look who he's fought. Look, everybody is experienced. So I always respected him. He showed me a lot of respect too. He was always respectful. He knew he was fighting the 3-division world champion, and I knew that he prepared very well. We knew it was not going to be an easy fight. It was going to be a very tough fight. And hats off. I respect him a lot. He's a tremendous warrior.
Two great warriors. Promoter Eddie Hearn has already been in contact with Golden Boy. Will you be chasing a rematch? 100%, yeah. We're looking on the rematch. So I hear that Eddie's been on the phone to him today, and I look pretty much confident that the rematch could happen. So it looks promising, very promising. If you can get him over here, that'd be great for you. Would you travel, though, if you had to go to Japan or America? I'd travel, yeah, if the money was right. Obviously, travelling is good, but I don't think he sells abroad like I said over here. I don't think he... Obviously, he fights in Japan, he fights in America. I don't think he'll sell abroad like I'd said over here in the show. But I think it'd make more sense having it here and having the fight back on England, perhaps even back at the O2. Who knows? You have got the cuts. How long do you think before you can get back in the gym? I've been back in the gym. I was actually in the gym Monday, Tuesday, and actually started training Wednesday. But you know, I'm happy now. I'm really in a good place. I've been training really hard. I'm better. I'm fit. I'm alcohol-free now, which is a big bonus for me. And yeah, I'm really happy with the team and the setup I've got now, the way everything's going. I'm just ready to be back in action. I'm hoping my first fight back could be October time. So Kevin's quest for a world title continues, which leads us on to our question of the week. Who is the best British boxer never to win a world title? Plenty of options out there, obviously. I'll get things started with Welsh welterweight Colin Jones, who had 3 shots at world glory, but came up just short. Our thanks to Kevin, who's earned a well-deserved rest. Now let's have a look at some of the best of the rest of the action from that great bill on Saturday night.
Dave Ryan and John Wayne Hibbert produced a Fight of the Year candidate in a breathless, bloody encounter that will live long in the memory. Ryan, defending his Commonwealth title, was down twice and looked to be on the verge of being stopped.
And Ryan's down for the second time. This is brave from the Derby man. He's hauled himself up a couple of times. What next?
But it was a Stallone-like turnaround for the man known as Rocky, breaking down the tiring Essex challenger to completely turn the fight on its head. 2 knockdowns, leaving referee Victor Loughlin with little choice but to wave the contest off in the 9th.
Dave Ryan on the verge of retaining his Commonwealth crown is going to be stopped. What a win for Dave Ryan, down twice and still the Commonwealth champion.
I've got a big heart, put it that way.
Scotty Cardle became British lightweight champion at the first attempt, triumphing over Craig Evans in another bloody encounter. Both men cut in an evenly matched clash. Cardle started the stronger before the Welshman closed the gap, but it wasn't enough on the judges' scorecards.
The new British lightweight champion, Scott Cardle.
The win represented the 10th British title victory for trainer Joe Gallagher.
Been dreaming of this moment since I was a 7-year-old kid. I'm just made up, I'm overwhelmed.
Many believed, style-wise, Nick Blackwell and John Ryder would produce one of the fights of the night, and the two certainly delivered. After a promising start from the Islington southpaw, Blackwell unleashed the perfect combination to stop Ryder in his tracks.
Oh, nice shots there from Blackwell. Big punches, and Ryder's in trouble. He's got a hold here. 30 seconds left in the 7th, and it's the biggest crisis of John Ryder's career here. And Howard Foster stopped it, and he stopped it. Can you believe it?
With his defences scattered, referee Howard Foster deemed him in no position to continue. The Trowbridge youngster lifting the Lonsdale belt at the 3rd attempt.
He was all over the place, he wasn't guarding himself, and I was catching him a load of shots, so I think it was a fair stoppage.
Nathan Cleverly made a successful return at light heavyweight, needing just 14 seconds to find the perfect body shot. Adam Smith and Paulie Malignaggi were watching the action.
Nathan Cleverly was criticised slightly.
Body shot.
That body shot he won't beat. He was against Tony Bellew, but that body shot is a finisher, I think, in the first round. It is all over. One of the quickest knockouts we've had in a British ring in some time.
I feel good at light heavy. I've done the weight properly. And let's get back where I belong now. You know, this, as I said all the way along, this kind of level, British Commonwealth, European level, it's no point. I've done all that. You know, let's move on to world level now. Bremer next. Jürgen Bremer and the Sauerlands, you know, step up to the plate. Let's finally get it on. And, you know, we've got a lot of big fights ahead.
Some unbelievable fights in there. Adam and Johnny, what stood out for you?
Well, the whole card, first of all, but John Wayne Hibbert and Dave Ryan, knockdowns aplenty, just a fantastic fight for me, really good.
I'm like a spoilt kid. I could have picked, obviously, Kevin Mitchell-Norris, Cardle, Evans.
What about Blackwell from behind?
Another good scrap. Evans will come back again. He's from your gym. But what about you, Stan? What's your plan?
Me? My plan is to get out as soon as possible. We're looking at September, back in Cardiff, like a homecoming fight. And then maybe December, so 2 fights before the year's up. And then the IBF will order a mandatory then. Hopefully you get through the mandatory. I just want to keep defending the title. I want to be a legend in the sport. I plan on being around for years.
And keep busy with
busy.
the momentum now.
I say keep busy and build on the momentum.
The Welsh Mayweather, they've called him. You rate him highly, don't you, Anthony?
Most definitely. It's going to be hard for Lee because, you know, probably going to get some stick going through his career. And the reason is because he just makes the fight look so easy. You know, when he fought Gredovic, that was his 5th title defence. When I watched his videos and stuff, I see him, like, putting on so much pressure, coming forward, throwing combination punches that were relentless. And then Lee come out, picking shots. Obviously, it's a world title defence, so it was a bit tough at times, but when he found his rhythm and broke him down, he took him apart and become world champion. It's unbelievable.
Have you heard from Mayweather? I know apparently you're out in the States. You're sparring in Pacquiao's camp. You're trying to get in Mayweather's camp. Have you heard any news from the boys over there?
No. To be honest, I haven't really spoke to Mayweather. I spoke to him on one occasion. That was when I was out there training for the first time. He come in, well, I introduced myself to him. We had a photo and stuff. But like, I don't know him on a personal level.
Will you be going back out to the States and training more and sparring like the wild card at Mayweather Gym? You know, you can't get better than that, can you?
I see you can't get better preparation, so I plan on going up there before every fight.
Lee, a pleasure to see you. Really enjoy that homecoming, and we'll look forward to coming down to Wales to see you defend your world title. Anthony is staying with us. You can watch the main action from last weekend's bill at the O2 within the catch-up section, and that's on demand, available now. It was a fabulous show, and even had some really amusing moments.
No idea.
James De Gale, fresh in from Arsenal's victory at Wembley, genuinely surprised about being cheered on the big screen. I think he was booed for his professional debut.
Yeah.
How lovely is that to see? And Carl Froch, unsurprisingly, mentioning his favourite moment again.
He's so modest.
Like, he talks about Wembley Stadium. I mean, Wembley Stadium fights don't happen that often. I boxed there, I don't know if you know. Did you? Yeah. But anyway, that would be... How many people, that would potentially be... How many people were there? Be quiet. That would potentially be an 80,000. Oh, yes. At the Wembley Stadium.
I know when you get there.
What was the question again?
It was 80. It was 80. Stop it.
It's a pulsating, turbocharged atmosphere in here as Hatton makes the running early. It's a good start this by Hatton so far.
Better. He's getting caught with quality punches on the way in.
There's that left hook to the body again from Hatton. He does throw that punch wonderfully well, then he clips you with a nice short right as well. The more authoritative punches are coming from Hatton.
You could not ask any more from Ricky Hatton.
Will's you begin to will. He puts his hands up with that right hand. Hatton might even sense that he could stop this famous champion.
There's something going on in the corner.
Let's have a look. Here Dave Ferris is talking. The shoot's going in. The dream is made real. Ricky Hatton rocks the world with a truly stunning win over a modern legend. He is the champion of the world. The hitman really has arrived.
Fabulous, fabulous memories. Exactly 10 years ago since one of the biggest nights in British boxing history. Half of Manchester were there with him. We all were. And the other half will be on June the 13th. Ricky rightfully having a big celebratory party.
And he should do, and you know what, it'll bring back memories for most of everybody there. I remember driving into the car park, it was packed out, walking into the arena, packed out, and I said, he's arrived, this is it. And all of a sudden his world just took off from that point.
It was iconic, wasn't it? I think as we look back through history, certainly modern boxing, it was one of those moments.
I just had a quick word with Anthony. He said he wasn't even into boxing then, so we weren't doing our job right.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure there'll be times for you. Not much time for you to socialise, though, so you won't be allowed to the party. But Andy, we might let you go up.
I wish I was going. But I was up in the northwest this week to catch up with Bolton's Amir Khan following his win over New Yorker Chris Algieri at the Barclays Centre on Friday.
I don't think it was one of my best performances. You know, I know there's room of a lot of improvement in that fight. Just felt a little flat in that fight against Chris Algieri. I don't know if it was all the hard training I was put through, maybe the long training, being away from home for such a long time, starting early and stuff. But you know, I mean, it's something I'm going to look back at and I'm gonna fix. I felt really flat walking to the ring, even before the day of the fight. I didn't really feel that, you know, just to go in there and show that how good Amir Khan is. I knew I was going to win the fight if I just stuck to my boxing and I knew I had the skills. But I mean, at the same time, I have to give a lot of credit to Chris Algieri for putting on a great fight, because he really come to fight and really wanted to show how good he was. And I've never seen him fight that way. But I'm glad I did work on him coming forward. For some reason, there was something that was telling me that he's going to try to fight And that's what he did. I mean, he was there in front of me for the full 12 round distance, took some big shots, obviously give back some big shots, and overall, you know, it was a great show. I mean, the crowd in New York were very happy with the performance. They loved the night of boxing. But yeah, you know, we just doing what we need to do. We got the win. It could have been a little bit better than it was. Obviously, a lot of people were expecting me to go in there and knock Chris Algieri out, but you know, Chris Algieri is the former world champion. He's up there fighting the top guys like of Manny Pacquiao and everyone. So you have to respect him for that. But I was very happy, you know, to go the full distance, and there's a few things that I've learned about myself and about boxing myself. So hopefully I can get them fixed, and you'll see a better Amir Khan next time.
Two final questions regarding your future. You took the opportunity to once again call out Floyd Mayweather. It was on US TV, so no doubt he would have seen the result. And did you see Kell Brook's performance, and where does that stand as you move forward now?
With Floyd Mayweather, I mean, Floyd Mayweather is probably the best fighter in the world. So obviously, I want to fight the best. He's a welterweight #1, and I think, yeah, you know, obviously we have the same team, and I'm sure Al Heyman, I'm going to leave it to my advisor Al Heyman and my team. Hopefully they can make that fight happen. I'm touching distance away from that mega fight, and everyone wants to see it. Everywhere in America, I was going, people were just talking about the Mayweather fight. Even before this Chris Algieri fight, so many people were just talking about Mayweather, and I was like, look, I'm not fighting Mayweather, I'm fighting Chris Algieri, you know. And I didn't get to manage to see the Kell Brook fight, but I'll probably get to see it probably in the next couple of days. Just be quite busy, not had a chance to catch up with the British boxing scene, so hopefully I'm gonna catch up with that probably later on today.
The fact that you retain that belt, though, does that fight still appeal to you, or does it not appeal to you?
I mean, maybe in the future it could, yeah, definitely, because obviously I've got my team who could. I'm going to leave it to my team. Whoever they put in front of me, I mean, I fight. That's just the one thing about Amir Khan. Whoever they put in front of me, I'll just say yes to, and I'll fight. So I leave it to my team. They're the ones who advise me and put me to the right direction I need to go. But the fights I want are the big fights, the likes of Miguel Cotto, the Pacquiaos out there, the Mayweathers, the big names in boxing, and that's what I want to do. So hopefully we can get some sorted out in the next couple of weeks. We should know which way we're going to go.
So if your team said yes to Mayweather, you would say yes, and if they said yes to Brook, you would say yes?
That's right. The team, I leave everything to the team, yeah.
So plenty of names mentioned by Amir there, one of which was Miguel Cotto, who defends his WBC middleweight title this weekend against Australian Daniel Gill. The title will be on the line, although the fight is made at a catch weight of 157 pounds. If Gill does win it, it'll be the third time he's held a version of the world middleweight title. Johnny.
Well, you know what, Amir Khan, I think it's one of those things where he boxed Chris Algieri. I thought it's one of those fights where if he thinks it's easy, it ends up being a hard fight.
Hiding to nothing type thing. Difficult for him, but he won the fight and he gets through. Kell Brook beats Frankie Gavin, but no nearer are they to sharing a ring.
Oh, I wish they was. That is a mega fight in Great Britain. I think they could even do it in Sheffield, Wembley Arena, where Carl Froch fought in front of 80,000 people. I think it makes so much sense, but it's down to their teams, you know.
Is it that Khan, he wants Mayweather, he's based in America, and Kell over here is really gathering steam now, defending his belt?
Yeah, definitely. Kell Brook's definitely gathering a lot of steam, and he's got a belt besides the ones that Mayweather's got. But Khan obviously is in the same weight division as the best in the world, and that's what he wants, so you have to respect his decision as well.
It's Brook himself, even though he got the stoppage.
Yeah.
He could have shone and really made a statement. It's like he was just going through the motion because it was an easy job.
Yeah, well, I think Frankie Gavin's very cagey. He's an amateur. It's hit and don't get hit. So I think he was displaying that type of skills in the professional ranks as well. He was a bit cagey, waiting to counterpunch Kell Brook. But Kell Brook is a massive welterweight and very strong, so it's hard to hold him off. And I think that Frankie Gavin didn't want to show too much. I don't think he wanted to be exposed in front of all of his home fans and 18,000 people. So I think that's why he was a bit in his shell. And it's a world title fight, and he'll learn from that. He'll definitely come on stronger and learn from that fight.
Well, from Kell Brook, Amir Khan, to a former Olympian, we're joined by Natasha Jonas. How are you enjoying retirement?
A bit too much, I think. All the jeans are getting a bit tight and stuff, so...
Are you keeping your eye on the game still? Are you missing the competition?
I'm missing the company, but I'm not missing the routine. Obviously, I think once a boxer, always a boxer. You're always going to miss the gym, but, you know, I'm not missing the being told when to eat.
Is it that camaraderie? I mean, I was chatting to AJ when you got in, you know, you miss that.
Yeah, I miss like being with the lads, obviously being with the girls as well, and, you know, you have a lot of banter, don't we? So, yeah, it's that kind of banter between the the athletes and the coaches, because it is a good environment to be in. Everyone there's after the same thing and going for the same goal, so it's nice to be surrounded by the same people.
Going for that goal, going for that competition, going for that edge, to be a winner, to get inside. You're not missing that buzz, not the fighting, the buzz.
The buzz, yeah. I think there's hardly many things that like compare to it. You know, getting in the ring, especially in the Echo Arena, and you know, that's your home fans all cheering for you and everything. But you know, I'm moving on to different things.
Why give it up? Southpaw, you're good, you can fight, you look like you're having fun. You're not old.
I feel it. I just think I was starting to struggle with a weight towards the end, if I'm honest. And I weren't performing like I knew that I could previously. So when it gets to that point, before you start becoming a stepping stone for other people, I think it was just better that I just retired myself.
You were part of that team that set the legacy from 2012. Nicola Adams, Savannah Marshall, they seem to be carrying that legacy on.
Definitely. I mean, they're just going from strength to strength, and the youths as well as today. We've got like youths going to the world champions, coming back with medals, and that there were opportunities that weren't there for us. But it's just so nice that you've paved the way for young athletes, for young boxers and females to go out and do that.
Savannah says she's out in Germany training, getting ready for Baku, for the Europeans. You expect big success from the girls?
Yeah, always do. I mean, we've got to be one of the strongest teams in the world, and I don't just say that lightly. I think it was only us and Russia that qualified all females outright. So, you know, we're up there with the Russians, who are probably one of the greatest teams, apart from the Cubans and the men's. Yeah. But you know, that's how highly we are ranked.
Sister of boxer Dave Ryan, Sandy Ryan's in the mix as well. Good little fighter.
She is. I was watching Dave at the weekend, and I was thinking, there's so many little things that he does that she does, and it's funny that they're quite similar. But yeah, Sandy's an amazing emerging talent, and there's going to be big things to come from her.
And it's like a family affair when you two met. You're thinking you're back to the old days again. Are you keeping an eye on the amateurs as well, keeping an eye on the success of the girls in the games?
If I ever get a chance to go up there to Sheffield, you know, that's like my second home. I spent so much time up there. Not really with them, not me and Tasha, me and Tom, all the boys, we all stay, and the ladies, we all stay in touch. And there is so much talent up there, and it's amazing because we had a strong team in 2012, and then some of us turned professional, and so on. Tasha has retired now. But as you said, like Sandy Ryan, you've got some of the other guys and the other ladies coming through. They're just as strong, and they're going to do great things as well.
We're going to be shining in Rio, do you think?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's some really good talent to look out for.
And finally, you feeling your retirement, just about?
Yeah. There's lots of other things that I do and get on with. You know, it's nice being with my family for a change. You spend so much time away. Being a boxer, it's nice to just be at home with your family sometimes.
It's good to see you looking so well. After the break, a special feature with a special boxing character, Hall of Fame referee Richard Steele, who is still heavily involved in the sport he loves. Welcome back to Ringside.
Anthony and Natasha are still with us.
They certainly are. While Natasha's looking for new ventures, Anthony continues to make his name, of course. We turn to a former fighter who found fame as a third man in the ring. Ed Robinson went to see Richard Steele.
We've both been here many times before. The rules and regulations still remain the same, and I will enforce them. Shake hands and good luck.
Well, my background started when I was about 14 years of age. You know, I had a chance to train and talk and get some advice from some of the greatest fighters of all time, and that was Sugar Ray Robinson, you know, Joe Louis. I had a chance as a young kid talk to them and, you know, get some advice from them. I didn't realize how important they were until later on in life. So, you know, I stopped boxing for a while, and I went to the Marine Corps. Drill instructor asked, does anybody know how to box? So, of course, I raised my hand. I had a little experience as a young kid. So they put me on the Marine Corps boxing team. And from there, I won all Marine Corps Championship. So I went to the '64 Olympic trials. And matter of fact, that was the first time I ever came to Las Vegas. And gee, you know, I didn't win, but you know, the guy that beat me, he won the whole thing, so I didn't feel too bad. And then after that, you know, that's the highest you could go as an amateur. I turned professional. I turned professional in Los Angeles, California. I was trained by Eddie Futch. You know, Eddie Futch and I became good friends, and Eddie Futch had to go to Philadelphia and train Joe Frazier. So he took Joe Frazier over me, so, you know, I don't feel bad. You know, when he comes back to town, he would train me, you know, and when Joe Frazier came, you know, I was in the group with them all. So, you know, I had a beautiful career. I had 12-4 as a record, and getting my ribs broken, and they broke 3 times. Matter of fact, one time was from a friend of mine that I was in the Marine Corps with, Ken Norton. So Ken and I was supposed to be moving around, and he said, hey, you know, I'm just going to move around. I'm not going to really punch hard, you know. And we was moving around, and all of a sudden, bam, hits me in the ribs, and I knew it was broken again. The doctor said they had broke several times, and there was a weak spot in my ribs. So he said, hey, you know, I think you need to give boxing up. And I said, wow. I go to the gym, and I tell Eddie, you know, I had to give it up. I go home. The next day, I get a phone call from the Boxing Commission, and they asked me, why don't you become a referee? I said, referee? Man, I don't want to become no damn referee, you know? I didn't realize how important it was. So I went back to the gym, and I told Eddie Futch, I said, they asked me to become a referee. And he said, look, sit down. So I sit down, and he said, that is an honor that they would ask you to become a referee. And on Eddie Futch's recommendation, I took the job. And look what happened, you know?
5, 6. Were you a natural straight away?
Yes, I was, but I had to keep reminding myself that I wasn't boxing. A lot of times when I first started, I would see the guys, oh, they were boxing so beautiful, and I would get caught up in it. I said, oh, man, this guy is beautiful. Then I had to say, hey, wait a minute. You know, he's really beating this guy up. I better stop this fight, you know?
What was the first really big fight you were involved with?
The first big fight was at the Forum Auditorium in Los Angeles, and a guy named Zarate, Carlos Zarate. When Jose Suleiman, he saw me working at the Forum, doing a fight there, and he said, hey, I want you to become a referee for the WBC. And I said, okay, and you know, no one else has asked me. So I took the position, and the next month, he called me, he said, listen, I want to send you somewhere. There's never been a black referee in Germany. Did a good job. He got a great report back from all the commissioners from Germany, and from there on, he just started sending me all over the world, from Australia to Japan, Korea, Africa, and I had a wonderful career for 30 years.
Tell us about being the third man in the ring for Hagler and Hearns, that first round in particular.
Boy, it was something I would never forget. You know, I was always in good shape. I ran, I did my calisthenics, I did everything. I prepared myself, especially for that fight, more than any other fight. And after the first round, I was so tired I couldn't stand up.
There was another classic fight you were involved with, Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez. Yeah. But the ending was controversial, and you got some stick afterwards because people thought it was contentious.
Right.
Talk us through that ending with 2 seconds to go.
Well, here's a guy. Meldrick Taylor was a gold medal winner. I mean, he was a great fighter. He was fast, through beautiful combinations. He was winning most every round. When he got hit with that overhand right that dropped him, he would just went down like a wet towel, you know? He pulls himself up, show you how big of his heart, but he was finished. And I'm counting, and I get up to 8, and I asked him, was he all right? No response. He's looking at his corner. He's making no response. I asked him twice, are you all right? Well, if you can't respond to that simple question, the fight is over.
And you're still involved in boxing and still trying to give something back. Tell us about your foundation.
Yeah, the foundation that I have, because boxing has been so good to me, I had to make a gym where young people can come in and learn the art of boxing, learn how to box, learn how to stay off the streets and stay out of getting in trouble. You know, come here, be tutored. We have tutoring programs, we have educational programs, we have after-school homework. You know, when kids have problems with their homework, they can come here. We have all kinds of different classes here to enrich the kids and make better citizens out of them, you know? And we are non-profit. We live off of donations and gym dues, which is very low. And I try to keep the gym dues low for the kids so, you know, there don't be a burden on their family.
How did you feel being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the International Hall of Fame in Canastota?
This memory will be with me for the rest of my days. I love boxing. And if I had enough rings, I'd give you all one.
The International Boxing Hall of Fame, when I got inducted, was the biggest thing in my life, you know, because what it done and what it says to me, you know, a job well done.
An amazing man, an amazing life. Ben Eubank won, Hagler, Hearns, and some difficult ones too. He was right in the thick of it.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, referees get a hard time, and they are the closest man to any action.
We gave Howard Foster too hard a time, actually, on Saturday, because looking back at the stoppage, it wasn't like looking at it in the naked eye. So I think that you've got to accept sometimes we're wrong.
That's
the
right.
Referees are the closest possible thing to the,
right.
to the action.
And in saying that, in their decision, you know, at first they'll get a lot of stick because the general public don't see what they see. They don't see the sagging of the body of a fighter when he's in there. They don't see the shots that we don't see of a fighter. So they get stick when they make that decision. But in the long run, all of a sudden, you get people like Richard Steele, like, you know what, you rate him, you think this guy knows what he's doing. You get Howard Foster, that he's done a good job, and realistically, Howard Job might have, you know, saved a lot of fighters because of an early decision when he got a lot of stick for. But for Richard Steele, what he's done is put something back in the community.
The foundation.
Which is most important.
And that's what's really happening with boxing at the moment, guys. It's thriving. You know, we've had an incredible May, haven't we, with Mayweather, Pacquiao, and the casual audience. We've had Jamie McDonnell, you know, James DeGale, Selby, yourself. You know, everyone's coming through. And it's coming into the community, isn't it? Have you seen that, Natasha?
Definitely. I mean, I think since the Olympics, there's been a positive promotion of boxing for women and for men alike. You know, there's more involvement since it you know, there's been programmes that I've been getting involved with England boxing to try and get it back into primary schools, also to get it become like a qualification where the senior schools teach the primary schools how to do it. So there's a lot of ways that initiatives going to get it back popular. And
Anthony, I'm kind of old school, so I look at you former Olympians, and I think you're a new breed. You guys have inspired schools to take up boxing. You've inspired it to be palatable to mums and dads to push their kids into boxing. Do you understand that responsibility? Do you understand how successful you really are, apart from actually fighting?
It's interesting you say that, because like, when we're in the gym, we're already thinking about winning and becoming the best in our field. And then, as you said, without realising, when you become like champion, whether it's ABA's British champion, Olympic champion, these responsibilities do come with it. And that's why, as athletes, I know it's a fight game and you've got to have a bit of spite in you. You have to represent yourself properly because there's little kids and there's parents that are watching you. And we want more people involved in the sport. You want it to be one of the most popular sports going, so we've got to represent ourselves properly.
Whether they want to box, fight, or just keep fit, there seems to be, you know, real momentum with the kids and all ages, really.
definitely, I think from the amateur game upwards, I mean, there's a real buzz around the professional ranks. I mean, I know in Liverpool, the young kids are watching the likes of Bellew, you know, all the Schmidts going for world title shots and boxing, and they want to get back involved in the sport. The big rivalry that's going on in a minute against loads of British fighters. It just makes it popular, and people are just getting behind it more.
I think another difference is manners. You guys have you've exhibited manners, and so, you know, it gets respect. You get respect from anybody that's not even interested.
There was something about the 2012 team,
yeah. How you come across when you guys have done interviews and speak to each other. You don't get involved in trash talking.
It's a discipline, boxing. That's what people need to remember. Even though it's a fighting sport, you have to remember that it is a discipline. There's an art to it, and you are a student because you've got a coach that's guiding you, telling you what to do, and it's a discipline. So when it comes to trash talking, it's not really, you're acting out of character. Because in the gym, you're disciplined, you're quiet, you're told what to do, you're told you're rubbish, you need to get better, and you don't bite. And that's why maybe I take that attitude into press conferences, because I'm a student of the game.
Charming out of the ring, brutal inside.
The way to be. It's the way to be.
The time has now come for us to move right into the heart of digital content, as Ringside will start going deeper and deeper on skysports.com. We bring you closer to all the big news. Keep your eyes out for that. And Andy joins us for an update online. What's been happening out there?
Well, thanks to everyone that's got involved. One standout candidate with more mentions than anybody else, Errol Bomber Graham, which is what Johnny said in the office earlier. Three-time world title challenger. Obviously lost to Mike McCallum on a split decision. Lost a phenomenal puncher, Julian Jackson. And also Charles Brewer. Retired British, Commonwealth and European titles, but that world title just eluded him. Kirkland Lang, Pat Cowdell, Henry Cooper never won a world title, Tommy Farr, Dave Charnley, the Dartford Destroyer, got a few mentions, Ryan Rhodes, the Ingle Gym did well, to be honest, Henry Wharton, Michael Watson, Jock McAvoy and Sammy Reeson, but thanks to everyone that got involved.
Thanks to everyone, and some terrific names. Thanks to you, Andy. Thanks, Anthony and Natasha. We'll see you all very soon, won't we?
Yeah, great times for boxing. Our top welterweights keep winning. We dare to dream.
If Amir Khan's watching, give everyone what they want. Do it now. You can hate me now. I won't stop. But I won't stop now.
Queen Khan's getting it. You're getting it next, boy.
I used to box kill all around the ring, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that's the honest truth.
Ferocious rivalry, bitterness, feuding, jealousy and bad blood.
I know you're delicate around whiskers, I'll take your out.
No, come on, Kel. I gave him that much of a beating. Could end up being his last fight.
Who wants to see Brook v. Khan? It ain't gonna never stop, y'all.